Bree Hall, aka Hara, and I'm coming back at you with another video. Today, we're going to talk about something in my new Tea with Bree series. I am so happy y'all received it so well. So today's topic is going to be, if you saw by the title, decision fatigue. Have you ever at some point gotten to work or to your destination very early in the morning and for some reason you feel utterly exhausted, not necessarily physically exhausted, just unmotivated, just out of it, not really in the zone? Now let's rewind that entire morning. In the beginning of the morning, you may wake up and then think, I want to work out. But then there's all these decisions. Do I want to go to the gym? Do I want to take a class at the gym? Do I want to do a home workout? If so, how many reps? How long? Should I count my calories? Am I doing yoga? Am I doing lifting? Am I doing cardio? And by the time that all that happens, you realize, I don't even have time to work out anymore. So you completely skip the workout. Then you go and you turn on the shower to get ready. And then you think, should I do a podcast? Should I listen to music? Should I do an audiobook since I'm trying to improve this or that about my business? And maybe no, I think I'm overthinking it. So maybe I should do some nature sounds, or even better, white noise, or even better than white noise, maybe silence. Maybe silence would be the best. But no, I really wanted to listen to. And before you know it, you're in a rush and you're like, okay, we're just gonna do this podcast. Boom. Get in the shower and you're showering, but you're distracted because it's like, dang, I'm not really feeling this podcast. I know we're only 2 minutes in, but I don't think it's the right one for me. So then you literally, with your wet hand and soap in your eyes, you go and you try to find another podcast. Check the time and it's like, dang, I only have 3 minutes left to take a shower before I have to get out and really start my day. You're about to get dressed and then you look at your wardrobe and then you start saying, is it trendy enough? Maybe, I think there was something I saw recently on a blog that I want. Let me watch 5 lookbooks. Okay, yeah. These 5 lookbooks are crazy. Ooh, I definitely don't have that. I can't afford that. Look at my wardrobe. Look back at the lookbook. Look at my wardrobe. And then it's like, let's just move on to hair. Then you watch 6 hair tutorials. You watch makeup. You watch all these different things. And before you know it, time is of the essence. So you just grab whatever you can and throw your hair into a style however it may look. Then after that, you head to the kitchen and time is in a crunch now. That you just look in the fridge and you feel completely overwhelmed. I don't have time to cook. Eggs, bacon, pancakes, maybe cereal. Cereal's the fastest. Or oatmeal. Oatmeal is always a good choice. Gotta boil water and then it's gotta cool down. I have to season it. You know what? F that. We're going to Starbucks. And then you get in your car and you're back at the same dilemma. Should I listen to that podcast again? But there's like 30 other ones that got recommended to me. And I kind of want to hear so-and-so's new album, but somebody on the review said it was bad. So maybe I should listen to it because everybody else is listening to it and didn't like it. What about the white noise? No. It's a 30-minute drive. I should listen to something. And you're in this endless spiral. You arrive at Starbucks. The menu is overwhelming. You have a typical drink that you like, but there's 3 new Christmas drinks. And then all of a sudden, there's all this other stuff built up. And you're like, so-and-so said I should try this drink. But then they also said this one, and the Christmas one, and this one I like, but there's also one that I wanted to try. And then you just cave and you get something random, right? And then now it's like, should I get a snack? Should I get oatmeal? Should I get bread? Should I get this? And you leave the window. And then, after all of that, you arrive at work. And you wonder why you feel unmotivated or just fatigued in general. You might be actually experiencing something legit, which is called decision fatigue, and also some call it the analysis paralysis or the paradox of choice. Upon analysis now, the average human makes about 2,000 decisions per hour. That's a lot of choices. When you're experiencing decision fatigue, what is it? Decision fatigue is when your brain gets frankly exhausted from making so many decisions in one day. So the more decisions your brain is forced to make in a day, the more your brain gets extremely fatigued by those decisions and may even start looking for shortcuts after an extended period of time. Studies also show that decision fatigue also impacts our choice making. So when we're fatigued in our decision making, we're more likely to either make 1, worse choices, or 2, choices that we're less proud of and just less satisfied with. Another example of decision fatigue that would be easy to point out right now is skipping through YouTube videos. YouTube has an overwhelming amount of options, and we might get overwhelmed thinking that maybe this isn't the best video. You might find yourself looking through the comments for better, more entertaining things or other videos as you're quote unquote watching a video. So I challenge you to be mindful and in this present moment and watch this video and try not to skip and see how it makes you feel. And also while not multitasking, and to see if you could just focus on this one solo thing. So for example, in that morning example I gave y'all, if you look at it, we didn't exercise, which might have been one of our goals. That's a bummer. That might be a poor choice. Didn't really thoroughly have a mindful or conscious shower because we were so engrossed in creating that experience for the shower. We were literally trying to build a world around the shower and actually sabotage that by overthinking so much. The whole purpose of going on Spotify or to pull up music or anything when you're about to take a shower is to really immerse yourself in the experience and enjoy your time with yourself. So sometimes when there's an overwhelm of options, we actually do neither. We don't choose something we enjoy to listen to, and we're not fully engulfed in our shower, so it's just like we kind of feel stressed. When our brain starts to get a little tired of making so many decisions, rely on others and actually start comparing. So for example, with the wardrobe example, the hair, the makeup, etc., we were so just mind-boggled about coming up with our own idea, what we believed is best for us. We looked at all these external resources to find and make a choice for us, but we were left a little bit more confused, more exhausted, and we still at the end of the day had to make that choice. We literally didn't even cook a breakfast or a nutritious meal, and we went and spent unnecessary money and we ate out. And on the way to work, we were so consumed with just the thoughts of work and everything, we probably didn't even enjoy our Starbucks to the fullest because we basically were thinking about all the other options that we possibly passed up, even if it was our favorite drink. And that, my friends, is a little taste of how your brain can become fatigued from decisions as early as 10 in the morning. Our brain is programmed to pay attention to rapidly changing stimuli. The brain actually loathes choice. And science tells us that those who limit their choices may be onto something. Overthinking lowers your performance on mentally demanding tasks by drawing on your supply of working memory. Spending too much mental energy trying to weigh out a plethora of options has a very real impact on our productivity and our overall well-being. In one study, as the brain took in more information, the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for strategic planning and decision-making, became more and more active. This is what we would expect, but here's the kicker. At a certain point, the participants simply couldn't handle any more information, and their prefrontal cortexes went dark, like an overload of a circuit. The brain simply shuts down when presented with too much information. Information overload, it seems, is real and a phenomenon in our brains. What is the impact today that all of these decisions have on us? I pulled some numbers here in my notebook. So, there are currently 606 million items for sale on Amazon.
I'm Jeff Bezos.
There are 4 million products on Walmart.com.
It's only going up. More and more people are discovering the convenience of just shopping from their couch.
There's over 100,000 titles on Netflix.
You should just pick something.
I can't decide. There's so many options. It's like, who even watches all this stuff?
There are roughly over 50,000 titles on Hulu. And there are over 30 million songs on Spotify as of today. And Spotify is just one of several streaming platforms. So what does that create today? Studies have shown, and of course, as you know with the Tea with Bree videos, I always put all my studies, my facts, my information, scholarly articles, etc. down in the description box if y'all want to read further in. But studies have shown that it's actually scientifically proven that fewer choices lead to more happiness. I always try to communicate this with people when they would say, so-and-so is rich. Why aren't they happy? The more money and success you have, sometimes that expands the amount of choices you're forced to make in a day and the amount of things you have to think about, people to think about. Multiple businesses come multiple accountants or people to just be in your network constantly. And I completely understand why some people that takes a big toll on them. So in Barry Schwartz's book, The Paradox of Choice, we learn that choice is a fundamental part of the human's well-being and overall function and autonomy. Too much choice actually has a cost. It can lead to bad choices, anxiety, stress, overall dissatisfaction, paralysis, inaction, and even deep depressions. And the crazy thing is almost everything in life requires us to choose. So many of us end up actually wasting a lot of time researching or pre-planning or doing a lot of things rather than simply acting with the fear of being wrong. Especially in the age of the internet where everyone has so much access to things. With so many choices, there come so many alternatives in our head. And we even, according to Schwartz's book, start to actually fantasize about alternatives that may not even exist, We see this a lot with Instagram, and when we talk about fidelity and general dating in this age of technology, where you might have a relationship that's perfectly fine, but when you go onto Instagram, it's like this legit catalog and highlight reel of all these people. Millions and millions of profiles are on Instagram. It might be even more. So that is a perfect example of how that can be very overwhelming and create feelings of great and deep dissatisfaction altogether. Also, constantly imagining that there is a better choice out there, you might also feel deep feelings of regret. A variety of studies have shown that when there are two options with a clear winner, then most people were able to make a choice. However, when there were a plethora of options, some conflicting, some with slightly more benefits, etc., people actually took much longer to make choices, if not just resulting to the default. So now let's talk about online. With online, there is, I guess the best quote would be against Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. Online gives us so much power and so much access to so many things, and you would think that it has given us a new sense of control. But with that new sense of control, there comes a lot of extra things to think about and things to be accountable for. So, for example, when we become more open to a lot of information online, we become very vulnerable, judgmental, and comparing to things that we might not have even considered in the first place. Sometimes this can be a good thing when it comes to social awareness, but I think Hassan Minhaj said it best in his show, The Patriot Act: not everything is your fight, and that is okay. Barry Schwartz actually said, with the internet age now, many of us either resort to becoming maximizers or sacrificers. So maximizers explore every possible choice they can, or as many as possible, until they find what they feel is the optimal choice. And at some point you have to have a cutoff, right? And this is getting very difficult when we have things like infinite scroll and we have all these extra resources. Sometimes you literally have to stop yourself at page 36. Sacrificers end up just sacrificing a lot altogether and just choosing whatever comes across as the first best choice. But I like to end every Tea with Bree video with some helpful tips or solutions, things that y'all can ponder on and move forward, not to overwhelm you with decisions. So step one, kind of common sense, but eliminate some choices. An example of this that I have personally is when I did a fitness journey in 2019 for 8 weeks. I noticed that for this program, I literally ate the same exact breakfast verbatim every day for 8 weeks. And some might say, oh, that's so boring, or and some days I wasn't craving it. Some days I was, and I started to really enjoy it, and it became something I looked forward to every single day. I'll probably do another video on what that breakfast was, but it was quick. It was great for me to do, but it also took a load off of my plate, every morning, because it's like someone making you a to-do list and then just taking something off. You know what I mean? That's one less thing I had to think about in the morning, and it actually made me feel really, really good and secure about my morning, because I started my day with a certain level of certainty. You can do this by committing to one audiobook per week, establishing what you'll be doing in certain areas, and take away certain choices just to give yourself a little break. And we see wealthy people do this all the time, okay? You might see a lot of the world's billionaires tend to wear very, very similar outfits. Now, when we think of Steve Jobs, what do we usually think about? Probably a black turtleneck, because Steve Jobs tended to kind of keep his wardrobe pretty synonymous. And why do a lot of billionaires and millionaires and very successful people tend to do this? Because they have a lot to think about. They're running companies, they're doing all these different things. Yes, I'm going to get the same exact haircut every week, and yes, I'm going to wear the same outfit every day. And to some that may be boring, but honestly, scientifically, they're probably a little bit happier, because now they can actually focus on what they love. Now, this is different if maybe you are a fashion designer, but for the everyday person and entrepreneur, that might not be the best thing to have this extensive, massive wardrobe to look through every day. Next thing is delegate some choices. So there's a study that showed that CEOs that delegated more choices actually earned around 33% more revenue per year, because realistically we can't do it all, and that's okay. This is also why you may see many successful people that have a personal assistant or a secretary or somebody that does their books for accounting and different things and as they get more successful, they have no choice but to add people to their team. It's a form of delegating so they can focus on what they want to focus on. A way that you can do this if you ain't got assistant coin is maybe put your bills on auto pay. I know it's scary for some people and it's not always an option, but that's a way to do it. Maybe have your account set to automatically take 10% out of your account so you don't even have to think about saving as much because it's being done for you. We even see some companies that are big like Netflix, Spotify, etc. trying to do this a little bit more for us, which is why Spotify curates a playlist for you every week, and Netflix might say suggested for you, because they know they have a lot of options, and that can actually in the long run deter their customers. Because imagine you spend 30 minutes looking for a film and you don't watch anything, so you just log off, which I've done before. That's the perfect example. Also, with my workouts, I ended up investing in a fitness app. Fitness apps really help because some of them have pre-established workouts. So I don't have to think about what workout I'm doing on Friday. It's already right in front of me, laid out the number of reps, the sets, what weights I'm using, the form, all that good stuff. Another tip that's not really talked about a lot, but I've seen it in some studies as well, is to have preferences. Studies also show that people that have preferences may suffer from a little bit less decision-making fatigue. For example, let's say I go to a restaurant that has 40 options on the menu, but I have a favorite dish that I just love. It just, the palate is happy, okay? Then that is perfectly fine, and I'm probably gonna order that even if I look through the menu. This has happened to me, tell me if it's happened to you. I'll go to a place I go a lot, I'll look through the menu and look, say, yeah, we need another second really quick. I'll keep flipping through and I end up getting the same exact thing I always get. That's because I literally am already getting fatigued by thinking about all these pictures, and I'm just getting overstimulated in general, so I just resort to my comfort zone a lot. Maybe have a favorite podcast, like I said, or a favorite playlist that you just go to in the morning. Like, this is my go-to playlist when I'm getting ready, and curate that on a Sunday and just make that your thing for the week. Even with online stuff, maybe have a few select favorite YouTubers and then just watch those, and then once you start getting, immersed in other things. So this leads me into another point that I have, which is being intentional and setting intentions when you do things. If you're going to go into that store, even though they got a million pretty colors, which I have to work on, come in for your purpose and leave with the things that were just on your list. Even though in the short term you might be like, but the conditioner, Camille Rose just dropped. At least that's for me. You're still gonna feel better if you leave the store with just what you wanted and you leave right away, because your time is saved. I don't know about y'all, but when I'm on schedule, I'll be like, yes, sir. All right, another thing is to become a minimalist. The trend of minimalism has grown so much in the past few years because it is literally scientifically proven that when you have less to worry about, you might worry less. I got rid of like 2/3 of my closet and I felt so great. Like, going in, only my favorite things were in there and I felt relieved. It's from a book called The Art of Tidying Up. If you haven't heard it, it's really, really good. Another thing is there's a book called Essentialism. Now, I'm throwing a lot at y'all, but it's just when you focus on only doing what is essential and nothing else, okay? Eating is essential. That serious deadline this week may be essential. And then it's based on your priorities too. Maybe that hour at the gym is essential. You're training for a competition. Only doing the essential things. And then if you have a bunch of free time, once those are done, have at it, have fun. Another important thing is to ask yourself, how important is this decision that I'm making? Is there a simpler way to execute this decision? And just choosing simpler options for the most low impact decisions. And also just thinking of the pros and cons of a decision and making the best choice for your overall well-being. Is not doing this thing really going to impact my entire life and I don't know, really change everything? If not, maybe you can skip that one event and just take care of yourself, or you haven't slept well a couple of days in a row, and that nap is really what you need. It is okay as long as you're finding balance and doing what is most essential to you. My last 2 tips, one would be stop second guessing yourself. Your mind and your intuition and how you feel or what you want to do is fine, okay? A lot of times when we have decision fatigue, it's because we are worried about making the wrong decision, but nobody is perfect, y'all. So just make the decision and move forward. Take a few deep breaths, a few mindful moments. What's the best thing for me to do right now? For example, I'm a little thirsty, so after this video, I'm gonna go get a nice big cup of water. And that's it. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm going to get my water after this, and that is it. Intentional. And then the last thing would be to run your day over with somebody, or a friend, a significant other, a parent, family, anybody, and just let them help you actually narrow it down and kind of organize. Because sometimes it's actually scientifically proven that decision fatigue actually reverses when we're making decisions for other people, because other people are able to really pick out the good, the bad, and use more of a common sense. They're a little more removed from your day, your mind, your thought, everything. So I do that all the time. I'll bounce stuff off my mom and be like, hey, I have like these 5 video ideas, and if there's one that she's just like, ooh, I like that, then I will be like, you know what, all right, let me focus on the one that's most interesting to me, but also that got good feedback, because I wanted to do all of them. And having too many interests can be exhausting too, which y'all have seen from my channel. I do a lot. But we go on limit it to 5 things this year. Sounds like a lot, but I think 5 is better than like 52. Anyway, let me know if y'all enjoyed this Tea with Bree. What do you do to combat decision fatigue in this digital age where tech and all these things are just going crazy? Let me know in the comments below. I would love some more tips because I'm cutting down on so much and it is so helpful. All right, y'all. Peace out, gang, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like this video. Wait, your girl just spent hours researching, hours writing this up for y'all. You know, the like is free. And it don't hurt nobody. Nobody clocking what you're doing. It is okay. Like what you want to like, see? Make the decision and don't second guess yourself. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this and found it helpful. Don't second guess what the world will think. If you like this channel and you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. I would be happy to welcome you to the family. It also makes it easier for you to find good videos because I get mad at myself when I don't subscribe to a YouTuber that had great content and then I watch too much stuff so they're not coming up in my recommendations anymore and I can't remember their name. Don't let that happen to you today. I love y'all. So again, peace out, gang, and I'll see you in my next video. Bree Hall out. And submit your next Tea with Bree topic because I'd love to hear it.
I need a little bit of trust from you. Oh, we can let the guns